Good afternoon and welcome to the regular meeting of the City of Glendale Commission on the Status of Women. Roll call, please.
Chair Burns.
Present.
Vice Chair Kajoyan.
Present.
Ex officio Kim.
Present.
Commissioner Lambalot.
Present.
Commissioner Miller.
Present.
Commissioner Perrion.
Present.
Ex officio Serrano. Ex officio Serrano is absent due to an illness. She contacted us earlier today.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda, please.
At 1A is a report regarding the posting of the agenda. The agenda for the May 9, 2016 meeting was posted on the bulletin board outside of City Hall on or before May 6, 2016. And the next item on the agenda under 2 introductions and presentations is a presentation on Sexual Assault Awareness Month from Peace Over Violence. And with us, we have Brittany Soto, Communications and Events Manager from their organization. So I would welcome Brittany up at this time.
Welcome. Do come to the podium.
Okay, great. Good evening, Chair Burns, Commissioners, and City staff. My name is Brittany Soto. I'm the Communications and Events Manager at Peace Over Violence. Just to give you some background on Peace Over Violence, it's an agency that was started 45 years ago. It was formerly known as the Los Angeles Commission on Assault Against Women, and it started because a woman was raped on Sunset Boulevard. And when she told her friends what happened to her, there were no resources for her. So her friends got together and started a hotline, and which originated as the Los Angeles Rape Hotline turned into the Rape and Battering Hotline. Because from the calls they received, they recognized the connection of sexual and domestic violence and these women calling who are in abusive relationships. So that's what, since then, we now have the Los Angeles Rape and Battering Hotline. So it's one of the longest running hotlines in the country in California. And Peace Over Violence is one of the first rape crisis centers in the whole country. At Peace Over Violence, which started just as a hotline, grew from intervention work to also prevention work. In intervention, we have that 24-hour hotline, which is staffed by volunteers who go through a state-certified training, and also staff. And those advocates are available 24/7 to answer those hotline calls, to go to police stations, hospitals, when a sexual or domestic violence incident is reported. Because all individuals who've been victims of these types of crime have a right to support person and an advocate, that's what we're there for. And law enforcement is mandated to call us out, and advocates are there just to be support, not to be involved in the reporting process, not to tell someone that they should report, they should move forward, they should not move forward, they should not continue. They're strictly there to provide support, to let someone know that it's not their fault what happened to them, let them know what resources they have available to them, and let them know that there are resources that are free for them. Most of the time, a lot of the victims that we work with don't know that there are this sort of support out there, and they may not have family or friends around them who can wrap their minds around what happened and be that healing support that they need. So advocates go and meet them at the stations or hospitals, let them know of our services, ask them if they'd like us to follow up with them, and then they're offered free case management and free counseling. And that case management can look anything from going to meet with them with the detective or a district attorney, or if somebody isn't ready to move forward with the reporting process, isn't ready to report anything, these case managers can help them with working with Department of Children and Family Services to if their kids are taken away, or work with them to get government funding, to get financial aid for school, whatever it is that they need to get back on their feet, case managers are there to help them. We also have prevention and education, which involves our division who works mostly with youth in middle schools and in high schools throughout the West San Gabriel Valley and Los Angeles, a really strong focus in the LA Unified School District, but all throughout the West San Gabriel Valley. Prevention goes out and talks to students from middle school up to college level, talking about healthy relationships, talking about sexual violence. So for so long, this has not been something that has been a topic of conversation. It's been taboo. It's in the media now, and a bit different than it has been in the past. People are feeling the same rage that most of us feel about these issues, and that it's not getting the attention that it's deserved. So now school districts are recognizing that we need to start having these conversations at younger ages, not just waiting until college. When freshman year of college, women or students are most likely to be victims of these crimes. So starting that conversation in high school and even sooner in middle school at appropriate age language. They also go out into the community, work with parents. We have our Parents Over Violence because this has been something that's not been discussed. So the youth are hearing this. Our high school students are hearing about these issues, healthy relationships, violence-free relationships, and then they go home and maybe their parents are in an abusive relationship, or they know that their mother or father was a victim of sexual violence, and they bring these tools to their parents. But once you've grown up in a society where this has been ingrained in your mind, that's just how it is. We don't talk about this. Yes, this happened in our family, but we don't talk about these issues. It's kind of taken it to the whole family. So that's why our prevention team and Peace Over Violence works with the community, parents, anyone who's willing to listen, anyone that we can reach at one time. But the youth are really strong leaders. And with that, we have a Summer Leadership Institute, which happens every summer with ages 13 to 21, where youth come and they do 2 weeks where they learn our In Touch with Teens curriculum, which talks about sexual violence, healthy sexuality, healthy relationships. And the 3 weeks that follow, they get a paid internship where they put these tools, they have some information that they've learned into relevant ways for other youth. Social media, YouTube videos talking about consent. So it's a way for them to kind of have that responsibility, that accountability, and to use what they've learned and how they can implement it in their schools. We work with groups called Students Together Organizing Peace, which are clubs on campus, on high school campuses typically, that just lead these conversations, lead these denim days, which leads me into our denim day. April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. Our prime activity campaign for that month is Denim Day. And Denim Day was started 17 years ago, founded by our executive director, Patty Giggins, because she saw on the news that this girl had been raped in Italy by her driving instructor. She told her parents, she went through the process. It was many years long process, not as quick as it is on TV. The person was convicted, and as he had the right to appeal that conviction, he did, and the higher courts overturned that lower court's conviction. And they said they did that because she was wearing such tight jeans, she must have helped him take them off, therefore making it consent. And this was called the jeans alibi, and the jeans defense back then. So the women in Italy, in the Italian parliament, the following day wore jeans to work to show that that's not an excuse. And it happened across the country, happened here in California, and our executive director saw this on the news and said we should be doing this at least every year. So ever since then, jeans are a symbol of this protest against these myths around sexual violence. Our jeans, it's more than just wearing jeans. It's a message, it's a symbol to show that there's no excuse and never an invitation to rape. We've developed this campaign that has several excuses, that there's no excuse that the person is incarcerated, it's not a part of the sentence, no excuse that she was drunk and partying, no excuse they were in a relationship. And it was just a couple weeks ago on April 27th. Next Denim Day in 2017 will be on April 26th. Throughout the month from March to April, Peace Over Violence is very busy with providing education about sexual violence, and the conversation brings in healthy relationships, but focused around Denim Day and using Denim Day as a prevention tool, where it's not just saying, don't go here, don't go there, don't do this, don't do that, putting that accountability on the people who are perpetrating this crime, and using Denim Day to put that education out there, a way to make the conversation a little bit easier for all ages. And it's gone from a small parking lot in Los Angeles and is now happening in Europe, across the country, in every state, in 118 countries. This year, over 11 million individuals participated, and we know that it's far beyond that, because the goal of Denim Day was that people would be able to take on this campaign and make it their own. So schools have, military bases have. I forgot about the montage. It's okay, we don't have to show it. It's okay, we don't have to show it. Okay, we'll show it. But just to give you a little bit more on POV, we have this video montage. Real quick.
Since 1971, Peace Over Violence has been working to draw attention to the psychological, physical, and sexual abuse of women, children, and men, and to stress the need for action. We have provided victims of abuse with support and protection, lobbied for legal reforms, and challenged the pervasive culture of violence. Peace Over Violence has a grassroots origin revolving around the contribution of volunteers. We are present in the streets, schools, hospitals, and courts, acting up, advocating, and promoting healing. Our call to action for a world free of sexual and domestic violence has garnered widespread respect, support, and dedicated allies among police, prosecutors, politicians, teachers, healthcare providers, celebrities, and a growing list of supporters from government, corporations, and foundations. We provide emergency services, crisis intervention, and healing programs, violence prevention education, and advocacy. One-on-one, we listen, counsel, support, guide, and work to heal survivors of violence. One by one, we teach teens and parents about healthy relationships, train girls in self-defense, instruct boys in conflict resolution, advise on public policy. We organize and we advocate. Peace Over Violence is a social service agency committed to social change and social justice. Our mission is the elimination of sexual and domestic violence and all forms of interpersonal violence across the lifespan. We are dedicated to a world without violence, where no child is abused, no wife battered, no friend raped. A world without terror, without threats, without wounds from intentional actions. Where the strong provide for the vulnerable, where the vulnerable become empowered, where every kind of family is safe and secure, and girls and boys and women and men have a fair and equal chance at the pursuit of happiness in a tolerant and talented society. Peace over violence is an equation we seek to resolve every day. Not only do we believe, we know that violence is preventable. We stand at the center of a global movement that is advancing individuals, groups, and society to stand over violence.
That's a bit of everything, just summed up. We do have an office in downtown LA, which is our main headquarters, and an office in Pasadena, because we serve Los Angeles and the 22 cities within the West San Gabriel Valley, within prevention and intervention emergency services. One thing covered is that we offer self-defense. It's a women teaching women's model based off an empowerment model. So this was started many years ago by Patty Giggins, which much more of a focus than martial arts. There's three components of our self-defense, and it's awareness. So teaching awareness of societal views of women, how maybe we think differently when we walk out at night. We think differently when we go places, and that's because that's the way that society is. So it's being aware of those issues and knowing that that's not something that should be forced upon us. It's just something to be aware of. Being aware of yourself, your abilities, your strengths, being aware of your surroundings, and then assertiveness. We're not really told that it's okay to speak up for ourselves all the time. So we teach assertiveness so that we go away from being passive, but staying away from being aggressive and not putting ourselves in danger, and teaching that assertiveness of using our voice and knowing the value of our voice to let people know if they're making us uncomfortable, if someone is standing too close to us or touching us inappropriately, that we don't have to be polite if we feel like we're in danger or someone is just making you uncomfortable. And then the third is the physical techniques. The goal is not to kill someone or attack them back, but to disable them so that you can get away. And it ranges from how to, if someone grabs your wrist, to the appropriate punches or the ways to hold your fist so that you don't injure yourselves. So we offer this monthly at our office. It is mostly extended to women, as we know statistically that women are the majority of victims. Males are victims as well, and we offer services for women and men. And we offer this self-defense for children as well. So I'm leaving you with some pamphlets about the agency, about Denim Day, and about the self-defense programs. We go into schools, businesses, and we teach self-defense. We have a group of volunteers and staff that do that. And if there are any questions for me, I'm here.
Are there any questions, commissioners? No? How is this funded?
Through grants. We are under many, many grants to fulfill these programs it needs. Government grants. Cal OES is to fund the hotline, the sexual violence services that are offered throughout, emergency services throughout the state of California is one of them. And everything else is just applying for grants and fulfilling those requirements.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, thanks.
Next item on the agenda, please.
At 3 is oral comment. Discussion is limited to items not a part of this agenda. Each speaker is allowed 5 minutes. The commission may question or respond to the speaker, but there will be no debate or discussion. Staff may refer the matter to the proper department for investigation and report.
We have no speakers, so seeing no speakers, the item is closed. Next item on the agenda, please.
At 4, consent items. A is approval of the minutes of the special commission meeting held on February 29, 2016.
May I have an motion?
I make a motion to accept the minutes of the special meeting on February 29th.
I second it.
Is there unanimous consent? Let's try that again. Roll call, please.
Sure. Commissioner Kojayan?
Yes.
Lambalot?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Carrion?
Yes.
Burns?
Yes.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda, please.
At 5 is our business agenda. A is action items. And at 1 is a nomination and appointment of delegate and alternate commission representatives for the Association of California Commissions for Women for the term of July 2016 through June 2017. At A is a motion to appoint a commission delegate for the ACCW. And at B is a motion to appoint a commission alternate for the ACCW. Would you care for a brief report?
Not particularly.
Okay.
I don't think the commissioners need to have one, but this item is open for discussion.
I'd just like to say that I have been the delegate this past year, and I think it's a great thing to do, get involved. I may be running for treasurer of ACCW, and I understand that it's best not to be in a dual role. So I don't think that I'm the appropriate person to be the delegate this year.
Thank you. Are there any nominations?
Can I say I'd like to be?
I'll nominate Seta to be the delegate.
Thank you. Now, the alternate.
If there are no other nominations, then we can take a vote on that. Do we need?
Roll call then, please. Will you accept, Zeta?
Yes.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Kojayan?
Yes.
Commissioner Lambalot?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Carrion?
Yes.
Burns?
Yes.
Thank you. And now a motion for an ACCW alternate, if there is one. This would be in the case that Vice Chair Kojayan cannot attend a meeting. Someone may vote in her place.
I nominate Commissioner Pryan as the alternate to the ACCW.
Thank you.
Are there any other nominations? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Kajayan?
Yes.
Lambalot?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Perrion?
Yes.
Burns?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Next item on the agenda, please.
At 2 is a legislative update, and A is a motion providing direction regarding legislative items. Chair Burns, would you like a brief report?
Yes, thank you.
So this, Chair Burns, members of the Commission, this is your quarterly legislative update of the bills that are being tracked based on the Commission's adopted legislative platform. Of the 4 bills from the last report, 2 have had significant action. One is House Resolution 35. That was the resolution to proclaim March as Women's History Month. That passed. And Assembly Bill 1561. This is regarding the exemptions of sales and use taxes for feminine hygiene products. This was expanded. And also they added a sunset date for this bill. And the reason that the author added a sunset date is she believes that it'll help actually pass the bill. So should this go into effect, sales tax will be exempt on these products until January of 2027. Moving past the 4 bills that you reviewed last month, which had letters signed on behalf of the Commission by the mayor, so by the City of Glendale and the Council and the Commission. We have 2 more bills for your consideration. One is Senate Bill 878, authored by LEVA, which has to do with work hours scheduling. And this bill would require an employer to provide its employees with a work schedule at least 7 days prior to the first shift of that work schedule. And basically the gist of this bill is to make sure that folks who are working on an hourly basis, who set time aside to be on call or to work a shift, get compensated for that shift. Because oftentimes what happens is they will set the time aside but not get called in, be required to be on call but not get called, and that's lost wages, lost hours. So this allows them, when they set that time aside, to get compensated for it. Senate Bill 1166, authored by Jackson, has to do with unlawful employment practice and parental leave. And essentially, this bill prohibits an employer from refusing to allow an employee with more than 12 months of service with the employer who has a certain number of hours of service with that employer for a 12-month period to take up to 12 weeks of parental leave to bond with a new child within 1 year of the child's birth, adoption, or foster care placement. This bill also prohibits an employer from refusing to maintain and pay for coverage under a group health plan for an employee who takes this leave. You all probably think that this bill already exists, and it does. What this does is it changes the definition of an employer, and in this case, any person who employs 10 or more people is subject to this bill. So what it does is it makes smaller businesses have to comply with this leave law, and this includes states and cities as well. At the last meeting, Commissioner Miller had also asked for staff to look into Assemblymember Gomez's bill to expand the state's family paid leave program, and staff is happy to report that this bill was actually signed by the governor on April 11th, so that one went through. Also, something mentioned in the last legislative report to the Commission, which is also in your report, has to do with the California Legislative Women's Caucus's letter to the governor that is in your report as Exhibit 5. This addresses a lack of access to quality, affordable child care, and staff didn't receive direction at the last meeting, so this is before you again. So at this time, staff is requesting that the Commission provide direction on the 2 additional bills that have been presented, along with the California Legislative Women's Caucus's efforts to advocate for child care. That concludes my report, if there's any questions.
Thank you, Ms. Powers. This item is open for discussion. No. I will if there's no discussion. Please.
I know I can't vote on these, but I just wanted to say that I approve of the bill about the sales and use taxes, especially because it starts dialogue that's important about bring attention to gender biases present in our society and how these feminine hygiene products are a basic necessity for women. So I do approve of the bill brought up to our legislative update.
Thank you. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion that we accept the legislative platform as provided to us by staff.
Roll call, please. Oh, I'm sorry. Second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Kojayan,
Yes.
Lambalot,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Carrion,
Yes.
Chair Burns.
Yes. Next item on the agenda, please.
Chair Burns, my apologies. May I just ask for a brief clarification? Does this include this includes the two bills along with the supporting the efforts of the Women's Caucus, correct? Was that the intent of Commissioner? Thank you.
Which is the last letter in our packet, correct? It does. Yeah, it does for me. Does it for?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Next item on the agenda, please.
At B, reports information only. We have an update on ad hoc committees, and there's no report for this. This is just an opportunity for commissioners to provide updates on meetings of their ad hoc committees, should they choose to do so.
Thank you. Commissioner Kojayan.
Thank you, Commissioner Byrne. CSW Education and Outreach Ad Hoc Committee, we met on April 25th, last Monday, me, Commissioner Lambalat, and ex officio Kim, and Christine Power, too. I'm just going to give you the headlines, what we discussed. Then Commissioner Lambalati and Kim, they will discuss it in details. First, we discussed speakers for outcoming CSW meetings for August and November. Second, we discussed about community outreach Mount St. Mary's report that was for CSW for our report for 2016, how to present it to community. The third, we discussed about the resource guide. As you know, our resource guide now is updated with city bubbles. And then Commissioner Lambalati she took it to YWCA 90th anniversary. And also the same day, there was Soroptimus event.
A Taste of Glendale.
Taste of Glendale, yeah. She put it on the tables, and this is a good one that everybody can have it. And also, she will discuss it later, how we can distribute it to Glendale businesses, with permission, and we will discuss this later, too. And also, we discussed about recognizing organization in Glendale that serves women instead of recognizing women. Now, I would have, with your permission, turn it to Commissioner Lambalati. She will discuss it in details.
May I speak, Chair? Thank you. I'll just go over this briefly. First of all, thank you, Commissioner Kojayan. And for August, we discussed a speaker for August. That's one of our goals in this ad hoc committee. We talked about possibly a speaker on health and/or aging, since September is Healthy Aging Month. So that's on the table. Staff, obviously, Ms. Powers is very helpful with these choices. Also in August, one option is a speaker from a group called Women Speak that ex officio Kim brought up. And do you want to say a few words about that, what that is?
So I attended a conference a couple of months ago about created by Women Speak, and it's an LA-based organization created by college women. And it was a very, very enjoyable and empowering event, and I was going to invite the founder of Women Speak to come. I actually contacted her, and she said she would be willing to, and we could just work the details out, so she would be willing to come and talk about how her organization provides mentorship opportunities for high school girls and college girls. So I thought that would be a good opportunity for us to hear about.
Thank you.
And the next meeting, thank you. The next meeting is in November. Last November, we had somebody from speak on women veterans, which was very informative. We thought we would try having a speaker that's different this time. A couple of ideas were somebody from a charitable foundation or charitable giving organization such as the Salvation Army, in view of the upcoming holidays at the end of the year. Another option that came up was to have a speaker from an organization called Dressember, which is an organization, and I'll quote from their website, that uses fashion to advance for women who've been exploited for their femininity. As women take on the creative challenge of wearing a dress for the 31 days in December, hence Dressember, they are advocating for the inherent dignity of all women. The Dressember Foundation exists to inspire and empower a global community of like-minded women who are locking arms to face one of the greatest injustices of our time, human trafficking. Another quote on the website is, "The heart of Dressember is freedom, that every woman has the right to live a vibrant and autonomous life." So we'll also look into that. And finally, if anybody has any other ideas for upcoming speakers, the ad hoc committee is obviously interested in hearing them.
Thank you.
The next topic that Commissioner Kajayan mentioned was community outreach on the Mount St. Mary's report. We're obviously very proud of the report and the input from everybody in the ad hoc committee on the report. It's obviously an important piece of information to have. We want to make sure that the report reaches as many people in Glendale and in the overall community as possible. The ad hoc committee that Chair Burns and Commissioner Perrion are on sent out letters to a number of community organizations, several dozen, I believe. And just today or yesterday, Chair Burns got a recognition note from Adam Schiff's office about the report. So that was terrific. We also want, those of us who want to go out in the community and speak on the report, present the report in slide form, for instance, we're certainly encouraged to do so. So we'd like to pursue more of those opportunities. Some ideas that came up during the ad hoc committee meeting were the Glendale College Women's Club and instructors and/or students in the Women's Studies program at GCC. So those are just a couple, but obviously we'd like to reach as many people as possible. I was as Commissioner Kajayan mentioned, I was at the YWCA luncheon honoring the Y's 90th birthday, and I spoke with the Director of Development at the Y, Andrea Williams, told her about our report and said, we'd like to coordinate a presentation to the board, for instance, of the Y, or the staff, or both, since obviously its objective is to serve and fulfill the needs of women and girls in Glendale, and they have done so for many decades. Commissioner Kim, ex officio Kim, was also going to think of some ideas at the high school level where instructors or students, girls' clubs, that sort of thing, might be interested in the information. Excuse me. Okay, and so then the resource guide, Commissioner Kajayan already spoke to. We're also, as she mentioned, the last bullet point she mentioned was the idea of distributing them to businesses in Glendale. So we obviously need permission to do that, but staff has also talked about, we've talked with staff about a list of public places where we could leave them. And I am a member of Seroptimus. We had a table at the Taste of Glendale event last Wednesday, May 4th. We put them on the table there. It was very cold, so we didn't, the table was not open for very long. But our president, Lola Bramium, is a lieutenant in the Glendale Police Department, and she said that the police department considers them terrific tools and they hand them out regularly. So I wanted to share that with the commission.
Commissioner Lambolet, if I may add something to that, the police department is having an open house on June 4th, and I wonder if they might allow the commission to display the resource guide and our report there. I will be at that particular event, and I'm happy to help support whatever the commission's efforts may be.
I think that's a great idea. The more we can distribute them, the better.
Well, that fits in with our support of the police, right? Commissioner, oh, I'm sorry, are you not finished?
Not quite. We had one other topic. We're almost there, though. We had talked in our ad hoc committee, since we're education and outreach, about recognizing women in Glendale. We talked that over and various ways we might do that. And there are obviously a number of very active women's organizations in Glendale that already recognize women, individual women. And due to the complexities and the staff time involved in soliciting nominations, selecting individual women to be honored, we're proposing that informally at this point, that the ad hoc committee is suggesting, that the commission recognize local organizations instead of individuals. We're working on a plan, working on ideas, and intend to bring some specific ideas and proposals to the commission at the August meeting. We just wanted to bring that to your attention at this time.
Thank you. Commissioner Arian.
Thank you.
Your mic on.
Your mic's not on.
Thank you. I'm going to give a brief update as to the ad hoc committee on community outreach. The letter that we had drafted to accompany the report on the status of women has been approved by the commission and the city council, and we have mailed out about 50 of them to all the 501c3 organizations. And we do ask from the viewing public that if you wish to have a copy of this report on the status of women, to please contact Ms. Christine Powers, who can arrange for you to receive a copy. In addition, if you are watching and if you have a group or a club that you think would benefit from our support and would like us to attend your meetings, please again contact Ms. Christine Powers, who can coordinate the meetings. And with that, I also want to add that I did attend the Glendale Mayor's Prayer Breakfast, honoring Ara Najarian, which was to bring the community together in prayer. And we had the keynote speaker, Jim Fox, who's the broadcaster for the LA Kings. And the theme for the day for the keynote address was loyalty and trust and the significance in teams. And that concludes my update.
Thank you very much. Are there any more commissioners wishing to report on their ad hoc commission or the ad hoc committee?
I just have comments.
Do we have those in this specific thing? You want to comment on?
No. I have.
Oh, you're going to go down
here.
The answer
is no. I have no.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Next item on the agenda, please. Now we're going to go down.
Thank you. At 6, we have commissioner and staff comments.
Chair Burns, may I speak?
Yes.
As I mentioned, Commissioner Kajayan and I and Commissioner Miller attended the YWCA 90th birthday lunch. And I wanted to bring it up again because our ex officio student, Kim, was honored at that luncheon. She was given the Jane O'Connor Volunteer Service Award. And Ms. Kim is a senior at Glendale High, and in the last 4 years has given over 548 volunteer hours. Among the organizations she volunteered with and for our Kids Space Children's Museum in Pasadena, the American Association of University Women Camps, and assisting in the ER at Glendale Memorial Hospital. That sounds daunting. And working on a program at Glendale High to create a demonstration garden to increase social activism on nature products. So it was a very, I think, prestigious award especially for a student, and we're very proud to have her on the commission.
Thank you.
Would you like to offer your comments?
Oh, sure. I actually wanted to say that I really enjoyed participating in the Denim Day at my own school. I got some of my friends together and we wore denim on that day to school. And even though it's a public school and we often wear denim occasionally, it was nice to see my friends' willingness to participate and learn about it. And I got to inform some of my fellow peers about it, which was a very enjoyable moment. And also, I just wanted to share that recently I've been reflecting on my involvement in different conferences and attending, and I realized that commissions like this one and any effort really dedicated to serving and helping women really do have an impact in the community. I've realized that on a personal level too. So it's been really nice to be a part of this commission that takes initiative in policy-based advocacy and also reap the benefits of it too in my own life recently through recognition from the YWCA. So I just wanted to share that with the commission.
And we were all proud of you.
Thank you.
Fabulous. Commissioner Miller, Commissioner Perry, would you like to go ahead with your comments?
I already made my.
Oh, you could.
No other comments.
Alrighty.
Congratulations on your award.
Thank you.
A couple of things that I just wanted to mention, Chair Burns, and to the Commission in my comments are that this upcoming Thursday, May 12th, is our Police Awards Luncheon. This year it'll be at the Civic Auditorium, so you'll specifically want to pay attention to that, which is a different location. But it's a wonderful luncheon. We expect about 600 people, and it'll be a very good way to honor our particular wonderful men and women in blue. I also want to congratulate all the physicians of the Armenian American Medical Society for their 30th gala, which took place this past weekend in Beverly Hills at the Beverly Hills Hotel. And I ran into Commissioner Parian there, so that was kind of fun as well, aside from a lot of the different doctors. So congratulations to them, as well as to Dignity Health, who received an award, Glendale Memorial, and Glendale Adventist Medical Center. I also, if I may take another minute here, Chair Burns, I also wanted to take some time to apprise this commission, and I waited to do it in my comments because I wanted to really thank this commission and apprise them for all the meaning that has been brought into my life in the past 5 years that I have served on this particular commission. Many of you know that I was appointed by Councilmember Dave Weaver, and more importantly than that, when Councilmember Vartan Garpetian was elected last year, he had every opportunity to replace or to choose his own appointee. At that time, he kept me on. In a sense, he chose me because he asked what sort of work I wanted to continue. And the work that I really wanted to continue had to do with the Mount St. Mary's report. And I've done that work, and I've done that work with Commissioner Kajoyan as well as with all of you and your input. And it became pretty clear after the completion of that report, especially since we have a lot of really fantastic women in Glendale, that perhaps my time here is better served by someone else coming into this role. So what I do want to let you know is I am, in a sense, retiring. See, I've reached a new decade, and I like using that word. I'm retiring, but not going away far. And more importantly, the people that we have coming into the wings, I know that Councilmember Garpetian has someone in mind. I will be there, to support her. And that's most important about what makes these things go around and what makes our city great and what makes these things work. For my own self, I do want to let you know that, as you know, Governor Brown reappointed me to the Licensed Board of Occupational Therapy in the state of California. This particular year is our sunset review, which means we can open it up and any medical profession can come in and tell us why they can do what we do better. Well, that requires much focus on the part of that particular license board and much effort. Combined with that, County Supervisor Antonovich has appointed me to a board on community and population health, which goes right in line with my career and my desire to have a doctorate in public health. Those two things have really built a stage where I need to go and the direction I need to go. And more importantly, the people that are coming up are fantastic. And it's all about all of us working together. So with that, I do want to just put a little quote out there. Wouldn't be whole without a quote, to thank city and staff and to let you really see the circular fashion in which, you know, life goes around, and it continues to go around regardless of the people in it. It's about the work and the good work, and we all continue to do good work together. So here it is. You still stand watch, O human star, burning without a flicker, perfect flame, bright and resourceful spirit. Each of your rays a great idea, O torch which passes from hand to hand, from age to age, world without end. So with that, I want to thank you for being on a team with me where we were human stars. I've learned a lot from you. I appreciate a great deal. I will, just because of the comedic factor, say that you would have had to do more than lock me in that elevator to get me to stay. No. But our wonderful firefighters did come out and take care of all that. And with that, Chair Burns, I thank you for the time that you've afforded me.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Anything else that you'd like to say?
Yes, sir. As you know, on March 30th, I attended the presentation of Mount St. Mary's University 5th Anniversary Edition Overview Report on the Status of Women and Girls in California. Over 1,000 people attended that conference, and I am very happy because it was excellent and informative, effective presentation that the president of the university, Ms. Ann Johnson, and with 6 speakers, and among them was the mayor of Los Angeles, Mayor Eric Garcetti. All of them, they presented, they shared their insight about women and girls locally, regionally, nationally, and globally. It was a fantastic day filled with inspiration, reflection, and a call to action for our community. And they expressed their feelings about women empowerment, human rights, and support the status of women and girls. They talked about the steps to improve the life of the women and girls, and I brought with me some overview reports and also templates, and explained the steps how to improve the woman. I can summarize this. First, it says, get the facts and spread the words that what they mean. It's overview the reports. Second, share the report with your network. As we discussed, we share all this report with our community. Donate your time and talent. Volunteer for an organization near you, as I guess all of us, we do the same thing. Learn from the leaders. What they ask us is they have a leadership conference which will take place on September 17, and emphasize if anybody likes to attend that conference. Also run for the office. This is all the steps they spoke about how they can improve lives, women and girls. Also, I would like to share some statements that I picked up from the speakers during their presentation. It says, participate, stand up, lead, and create a change. For success, we have to walk collectively. Do not walk by yourself. Share it. Push women and girls to speak up. They can do it. Required to create a space. Stand up to be heard, your voice, and do not stop. Really, all this make me feel happy that I went to that conference. Really, I appreciate that give me the opportunity to attend. I learned a lot, and I met a lot of good speakers. Thank you.
I was really proud and happy that you went.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. Vice Chair Kajoyan had asked that we share a couple of photos with you that she took at the event.
Oh, good.
So here we have, I'm assuming, a panel.
Yeah, that's the panel. And then also the...
Might recognize one of those ladies, or two of those ladies, I should say.
That was the lady, Eleanor Sherbert, that she helped us with the report. And the other one is Miss... the president of St. Mary's University. Yeah. And this is the Secretary of California State Commission on the Status of Women.
The executive director.
Yeah, executive, yeah. And more than 1,000 people attended from different commissions, and they make us to stand up who was the commissioner that day, yeah. This is me.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I'll be very quick. It's about what time? 10 to 7? I had wanted to go over a couple of things. May 24th is the Community Health Needs Assessment. And you need to contact Dignity Health Glendale Memorial Hospital, 502-4578. Forum on Aging Women Poverty is coming up June 3rd at the Skirball Center. And Election Day is June 7th. If you contact our city clerk, Artie Kasakian, at 548-2090, he will forward you on to the correct phone number. And a reminder that we did receive a beautiful commendation or proclamation from the council on April 26th and held a very successful Denim Day on April 27th. And since it was Mother's Day yesterday, thank you, Seta, for coming in your pink. And happy Mother's Day to all, and to all a good night. May I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
Thank you. And that would be at what time?
6:48 p.m.
Thank you.